quorum this time? Because I know he.
Good evening, everybody. We're going to call to order the Tuesday, March 24th Zoning Hearing Board meeting. Before we get started, a quick introduction of the board. From left to right, we have Jason Dennis, Andre Hayes, Darshell Pierce. I'm Dennis Matthews. We have our board solicitor as well as representation from the municipality. Just a quick announcement before we get started. Pursuant to the Zoning Hearing Board rules, the Zoning Hearing Board will not hear any cases that begin after 10 p.m. this evening. So if there's anything that does not start by 10 p.m., they will be pushed to the next scheduled meeting. And with that said, at any time, if somebody wants to have their hearing pushed, just come up and let us know. That said, we're going to start this evening with application 53-25. It's a request for a variance. The applicant is Misol Yanez of 515 Plymouth Road, Suite P7, Plymouth Meeting, PA, 19462. The property location is 705 Chain Street, Norristown, PA. The property owner is New Star Home, LLC, of 64 Quarles Drive South, Phoenixville, PA. The applicant is requesting a variance from section 320-41 to permit the use of a duplex in the R2 resident district. Just a quick note before we begin, Ms. Devine is present this evening.
I'll let you go if you want. I don't think it's on. There we go.
Good evening. Charles Campbell representing the applicant. This is a property on the west side of Norristown at the intersection of Chain and Oak Streets. Its street address is 705 Chain. However, this will be obvious from some photographs that we're going to offer into evidence. These are actually two row homes that share a wall in the R2 district, which the county records show one parcel, one tax parcel, and it is taxed as such, but it's clear from the configuration of these buildings that they are two separate buildings. There is no access from the building that's on the corner and the next building, the building to which it is attached. So my client's application is to have the property on the corner, which is a one-story building, treated as a twin, which is a permitted use under the R2 residential district, either a twin or a row home, because it shares a brick wall and it does not have access to the larger building to which it's connected. And the second building is a three-story brick building that was originally configured, my client purchased it, was configured as a triplex. His application tonight is to ask for a variance to have it used as a duplex. So in essence, based on its current configuration, he would be seeking to change it from 3 to 2. But the variance is required because it is an R2 district, and the building was not originally constructed as a duplex, so a variance would be required to achieve the proposed use. So my client, VJ, and I don't know how to pronounce your last name, I'm sorry.
Good evening. Vijay Pithambaram. P as in Peter, E as in Edward, E as in Edward, T as in Tom, H as in Henry, A as in Apple, M as in Mary, B as in boy, A as in Apple, R as in Rosie, A as in Apple, M as in Mary. Pithambaram. Vijay, V-I-J-A-Y.
Sure, that's fine.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
And my client will testify as to the present condition of the building, its dimensions. We have photographs showing each room on each floor and how it's configured and how it would present a great financial hardship to restore this building to a single residence because of the way it's configured, and it is quite large and probably expensive for a property owner to occupy as a single residence in that neighborhood. So I'd like to offer the packet of photographs, which I've marked as Exhibit 1. How would I describe these?
This is the studio backside.
Hmm?
Studio backside with Bilco and basement access to the studio.
Okay. I'd like to offer a second packet of documents. Okay, why don't you step up here?
Good evening, everyone.
Okay, please state your name.
I'm Vijay Pithambaram. I'm the property owner.
Okay, and what is your relationship to the owner of this building?
Yeah, I'm the one of the member of the New Star Homes LLC.
Did you get that? Okay. And you're a principal in that
Yeah.
company?
Mhm.
When did the company acquire the property?
It's about over 2 years ago, and it's vacant from that point. It never had the approval to.
Was it completely vacant?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in my introductory statement, I described a separate building on the corner of the property that's shown, that can be visualized in the first photograph in Exhibit A1.
Yeah.
So why don't we start by having you describe the two buildings, if they are separate, and what access there is to each one.
Yeah. Yeah. This building is in the corner of Oak Street and Chain Street, and in that corner, the building is like side by side, where the corner home, which is a small single floor, studio, it has a shared wall to 705 Chain Street. In the public records, it is of the same parcel number, but legally two different addresses: 701 Chain Street and 705 Chain Street. And the 701 has its own basement, its own Bilco doors, backside and the front side. At the corner, it has a door, and 705 has its own, front side and back side. It also, because of the 3 units, there is a fire escape. I mean, you can see in the pictures. So each unit, first floor, second floor, third floor, has its own front entrance and back entrance.
Is there any access to and from 701 and 705
Yeah.
Chain Street?
They are side by side, but detached. There is no access. You cannot go from 705 to 701 or 701 to 705. either on the first floor or any floor or from the basement. It has its own basement, it has its own front door and back door.
And they do share a common wall,
Yeah,
correct?
they do share the common wall.
All right, can you describe the configuration of 701?
Yes, 701 Chain Street is a studio. It's like, the kitchen and a small area for living area. It's no bedroom, but it's whole is kitchen and living area and bathroom.
And is it all one room, or
Yeah, it's all one room.
except for the bathroom? I see.
Correct, bathroom and, yes.
Is the kitchen in a separate room, or is it all in
It's
one?
all, kind of all open layout, yes.
And what are you asking the board to do with respect to 701?
So, because they're different legal addresses and they don't share anything, because they have its own hot water, it has its own electrical meter, it has its own gas meter. So that's how it is used. Previously, I think one of the document we submitted as a public records, it has showing that as a 4 units. But we are asking duplex for the main house and leave the 701 as it is a studio or single apartment.
Okay, now turning to 705, how is that presently configured?
Presently, it has, each floor is 1 unit, each one is 2 bedroom, 1 bath, 1 kitchen and family room. So that is how it's configured currently. But we would like to request, as first floor is 1 unit and second floor, once you go in, second floor, there is, both units has its own family room, it has basically bathroom, kitchen, everything. But we would like to request as a duplex approval for the 705 Chain Street.
So presently, is there a kitchen on each floor
Yes, that is correct.
and a full bath on each floor?
Yes, that's right.
What access is there to each unit?
So, as I mentioned earlier, there is a fire escape in the backside, and once you go inside, you get in the steps and you have access to the second floor.
Well,
And-
let's be
yeah,
clear.
sorry.
All right, so there's a fire escape in the back,
Correct.
and that gives you access to the second and the third floor, is that
Correct. That is to exit from the second and third floor in the event of fire. But to get to the main access, if you see the, this door.
In the
that
front-
is-
in the
Yeah,
front?
front side, yes. This is the door, like what you can see in the very first picture, page 1. Yeah, in the front side, the windows are currently now closed with the boards, but the door that is there, once you go through that, you have access to all 3 units as of now. You go inside and you take left, you go to the first unit and go straight up the steps, you go to second floor, and then again there is a turn to go to the third floor. So the window that is there, the door that is in the front side, it has access to all 3 floors from the front side. And the back side, all 3 units has its own fire escape.
Would you propose to, if permission's granted for your variance, would you propose to configure the second and third floor into a second unit when right now it's 2 separate units?
So currently second floor has its own kitchen and family room and bathroom and has a separate, there is a pass-through entrance to go to third floor. We kind of merge this second floor and third floor into 1 unit, wherein there are 2 bedrooms on second floor, there could be 2 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms on third floor. So the kitchen will go away, kitchen and family room, everything will be removed, and all that will be used as rooms or office room or bedrooms.
Now, presently, is there access, what is the access through the front door to the 3 units?
Yeah, front door when you go inside the building, left, once you take the first door goes to the first floor unit. It has its own door. Then go up the steps, you have entrance to the second floor, then take turn, go to the third floor. So now, once you get in the second floor or, go through the steps, that will be, joined for both second and third. Both kind of merging second floor and third floor into 1 unit. Currently now 2 units, 2 will become 1.
So the staircase from the second to the third floor would be enclosed in the upstairs
Correct.
unit, correct?
Correct, right.
Do you know how historically, this property was used as a triplex? I'm referring to 705
Yeah.
itself.
So when you look at the public records and previous MLS information, that either previous listings for the sale and for the previous listing for the rental, it is showing as 3 units in the building. Each floor has 1 unit by itself.
Do you know when this property was last used as a single-family home, if ever?
No, I don't think it was ever used, but at least whatever the information that we see in the county records and the way it is configured and all the meters that we see, it's in the pictures we have shown, the water heater, separate gas meters, separate electric meters. I believe it's always used as, 3 or 4 units, like 4 units as of now. But I don't know for sure. For the fact that it was ever used as single or duplex, I don't know. Based on what I know, what I've seen, both in the public records and see the property, it's always used as 4 units.
Would it be feasible financially or otherwise to restore a single-family use to 705 Chain Street?
So, I mean, if everything is possible at the cost of money and time, but for this, if you convert all 3 into single, it becomes too big and too many rooms. It becomes not feasible for the people who are going to live. If it's not owner occupant with a large family, it may not be really feasible for that to use as a single family. I would request you to consider that. It is both cost money and even heating, cooling, and the usage. Like if currently right now 6 bedrooms and 3 kitchens and 3 bathrooms and 3 family rooms. So if you take all that and to make into one, then at least you are adding another 2 plus 6 bedrooms. So it's basically it becomes 6-7 bedrooms.
So there are 6 or 7 bedrooms just in 705, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So 705, if you look current configuration, each floor, right, 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, 1 kitchen. Now if you merge all those 3, it'll be at least without converting the family rooms into bedrooms, they become 6 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. So that would becomes, non-feasible usage for either the owner or the tenant.
All right, in terms of financial feasibility, can you provide an estimate to the board as to what the cost would be to restore it to a single-family residence, if that were,
Yeah,
if that made
financially,
any sense?
yeah, based on the value of the property and the location, the conversion may take anywhere like $80,000-$90,000 or more. That definitely becomes not feasible. And usability, I mean, if you look at the usability, financially feasibility is one thing, and then you see how we could use it. It has to be only used by very large family with needing so many bedrooms, 8 bedrooms or something. It's not really practical.
Are single-family homes commonly found on that block of Chain Street?
There are some. I mean, this street has both. There are multiple multi-families are there, duplex, triplex, fourplexes, and also there are some single families too.
What is the square footage of 705?
705 alone, I think, is about 2,400 square feet.
Well, we move the admission of the exhibits A1 and A2. Are there any other documents that you brought with you tonight that would help illustrate what you wish to do with the property, other than the?
Then when public records also there, the second. This one. This one. Showing how it is, yeah. It's used and.
Okay. There's one more exhibit we'd like to offer, and that's exhibit A3.
It's on the public.
Okay, can you describe what documents are contained in the packet marked as A3?
So in this one, the first page, we are showing the current MLS information that is also public records. They're showing what is the size of the building, how many bedrooms are there, how many floors are there, and all the tax information and all that is there in that document. And this also shows some pictures on the front side, and it shows the, which is in the corner of Chain Street and
Right,
Oak Street.
page 3 is the map.
Yeah. And
What-
here in the says that
Right,
land
page
usage.
4.
Yeah, if you look at the page 4 in that
Is that the record from the?
Public
the
records.
The county?
county records, yes. It is represented, or it is showing as a quadplex, residential use for quadplex.
And that's the record from the Board of Assessments of Montgomery County, correct?
That is correct.
Do you know why that's identified as a quadruplex?
So because, it is two buildings, but on the same parcel number, I think that's how they convert. They showed as 3 units on the 705, 1 unit and 701. From the records, because the Agonu records are based on the parcel number, therefore they call fourplex. And they're attached, so that's why I think that's how they might have used.
Okay.
So this one shows.
Okay, and then the county assessment page showing where it's indicated it's a quadruplex is then followed by maps of the lots and as well as followed by diagrams of each floor, correct?
Yeah, right. Then this is how the layout is there in the other pages. It's like, again, we prepared the architecture picture. And the next page,
Okay, do you have pages marked first floor, second floor, third floor?
correct.
Following that,
The last
who
one,
drew those?
this is, our engineer prepared that.
Your engineer?
Yeah,
And that shows the current configuration, not what you're going to make it, correct?
correct.
Or what you're going to make it if you're permitted to.
Yes.
All right, the next page, what does that show?
This is actually consolidated of all 3 floors. Yeah, it's basically what we showed was one page for one floor, other page for another floor, other page another floor, and the next page is putting all together at the same, so that you can see all together. And the next page we are showing is how many duplexes and quadplexes are in this area within 0.1 mile. There are I guess 59 properties are there, multifamilies with 59. 59 properties are there which are multifamily within 0.2 miles of this property. So we are, by whatever if you decide to approve, it is not changing any culture or the environment around that place.
Okay, we didn't go through your description of what's in the packet marked as A2. Can you
Yeah.
just go through those photographs briefly for them?
So if you look at that one page in the backside of the 701 Chain Street, it has the door by itself to go, and also there is a Bilco door to go to the basement of the 701 Chain Street.
All right, so the first page is the back of 701.
Correct.
Okay. And the second
Second
photo?
page is showing that first page, the front side of the 701 Chain Street, which is a corner entrance.
Okay, third photograph.
Third photograph is showing all the electrical meters for the 705. There are 3 meters. Not meters, means the 3 electrical boards.
The 3 separate panels.
Yeah,
correct?
panels, yes.
Fourth page.
This is same thing. This is the 705 Chain Street, Bilco door and the back door.
So that's the back of 705.
Correct.
And the back door, that leads only to the first floor of the property, correct?
That's right. You can only go to the first floor with the back door, and if you want to go to second floor, third floor, it has to use the back side, fire escape, front side the door.
Next page
This
is
is the
marked
kitchen.
first floor kitchen.
Correct.
That's presently what's in there now.
Right. This is second floor panel for the third.
Well, you marked it third floor electrical boxes at the
Yeah,
second.
yeah, third floor panel, but it's in the second floor.
Is
On
it-
the way, on the on the street steps, while walking, you can see that panel.
The next page is marked third floor kitchen, is that?
Yeah, third floor kitchen, yes. This is second floor kitchen, I guess.
The second, is the next page the second or the first floor kitchen?
Yeah, this is first floor kitchen, yes, you're right.
Well, that doesn't look the same as the other photograph. You had a first floor kitchen.
It's a
It
different-
has,
oh, this is
it has
maybe
some kind of Mexican tiles in the back.
Yeah.
That's a different kitchen.
The second floor maybe, sorry.
So that's the second floor kitchen, the next
Yeah.
one?
Yeah. And the next one is 2-car garage on back of it, because it backside there are 2-car garages for parking. Same kitchen. This is the front side with the meters.
Okay, next photograph shows the 4 gas meters, correct?
Yeah, 4 gas meters in the front side. And this shows the one other page, shows the side of the building with showing all the fire escapes, and there is one entrance to the first floor. First floor has 3 exits, one in the front side, one in the side, and one in the back.
And that page is marked side view, and that's the view looking from Oak Street, is that correct?
Right, that's right. And this is the electrical meters next to the first floor, which is 3 meters for 3 units.
Okay, and that's another photo of the fire escape following that?
Yeah,
And that photo, and again, that services the 2nd and 3rd floors, correct?
correct. And this is for the studio water heater.
That's from 701.
Yes.
Another photograph of the back, we were showing that. Oh,
Same thing. So,
okay. All right, so I move the admission, if I haven't already done so, of the 3 exhibits, and as well as the applicant's application, which I haven't marked. All right, is there any other information that you think is important with respect to your application that you think the board should hear?
that's all I know. I'm open to ask any questions and open to answer any of the questions.
All right, thank you.
Any other witnesses or testimony?
No.
Board have any questions for the applicant?
I just want to
That's correct.
And so in essence, what you're asking for is triplex.
Correct.
And how long is this building vacated?
It's about 3 years. It's about 3 years.
So the building, so not the corner one, because it looks like you've already rehabbed and that one's up for rent or something. On the corner?
It is like that, but never rented. It's vacant from the day we purchased.
Yeah, I know it's vacant, but it's been rehabbed, right, or something?
There's some work was done, yes.
Yeah. And then the one in question, the other one, so it's 701 and 705, and there's no 703. That
No.
disappeared or something.
Correct.
So it's 705, and then 705 has been vacant for how long?
So this was bought from a bank auction, so it may be vacant for a long time. I don't know how long, but we bought it about 3 years ago, and it may be vacant even before.
So you didn't do any research to find out how long the property was vacant?
I don't know.
And on your application, it referenced something with regards to that it would take. So you don't know how long it's been vacant, but on the application, it referenced something along the line of it would take too much something, effort, I guess, or some kind of rehab to make it a single family home. Can you explain that if you don't know how long it's been vacant?
So the thought process is like, when you look at it, there are multiple kitchens and multiple bathrooms and multiple electrical. Yeah, okay. So currently, when you look at this public records and the photos, there are multiple units are there. And if you were to convert, first thing we had to remove all of them and kind of merge all the meters, because right now, if we want to rent it 3 units and then have 3 separate heating systems, 3 separate electrical meters and water meters, they're not really feasible. So now we had to redo the electrical plumbing work, electrical work, and then some kind of building work so that they make feasible one family room. Right now, a single family house. Because all this will go away, we have to merge all the electrical work. So basically, remove all the walls and take the electrical, remove all the existing electrical, and do new so that all get fed from one single meter of water, single meter of electric and gas.
Mr. Campbell, the applicant, do you have any kind of documentation that shows us the difference as far as price is concerned as it would to just rehab it as 1 unit versus rehabbing it as 2? Did you get any kind of estimates from any kind of contractors with regards to the difference?
So we didn't really get the actual estimate, but as I was mentioning earlier, to fix it what it is, it's easier because the 3 heating systems are there and all. But if you want to put together, we have to remove everything and redo whole thing. So it's basically rebuilding the single family from the ground up.
I misunderstood what you said. You said to fix it the way it is, it's easier, but you did not tell me the difference between what the cost would be to make it a single family versus
Yeah, at this time I don't have exact number, but I know for sure because fixing it is easier because it's already the way it is configured. But if you want to redo it, there's a lot more work to be done. I mean, if board want to get that estimate, we can present it. Right now I don't have exact number.
Are you a contractor?
No.
So you wouldn't have any idea what it would cost?
Dollar wise, I mean, we got approximate numbers, but not like exactly. Hey, this exactly takes specific amount. I can't say
You
for.
don't have any documentation as to what.
I don't have at this time. It's about 3 years ago. Sorry. This is coming from bank auction.
Was that in terms of price or?
This would, if it was out for auction, that means it was listed somewhere where people can bid on it. Do you have any information in reference to that bidding?
It was available through MLS. One of the wholesaler kind of got it some kind of contract from the bank, and he transferred that.
Do you have any record of that?
Is that?
In the public records, we can see the seller name, but the seller name is some kind of the wholesaler price name is there, not the bank name. But if you see in the sales records, like if you see the public records and go on sales, you can see last few sales. The bank sold to the wholesaler, wholesaler sold to us. So if you can see, there is a bank ownership under the.
I'm not asking about ownership. I'm asking about, do you have any documentation showing what this property was listed as at this auction?
I think we can see the MLS.
I believe Exhibit 3,
This is
page 2 shows that.
Is this Exhibit 3 you're talking about?
Yeah.
Where it says,
Yeah.
property records?
For the first page after the cover sheet.
This was the listing from the auction?
It is, I mean, most of these sales, they listed in MLS, like multiple listing services.
I understand how it's listed, but I'm asking you to provide information to establish whether or not this was listed as a single family, listed as a duplex, triplex, quadplex, whatever you want to call it. Do you have any information that I can look at?
I can only see that in the listing place, but I don't have that handy right now.
So this is Exhibit 3, you said?
Yeah,
Okay, so Exhibit 3, page 4 is listed as land use description, quadruplex, is that correct?
yeah, fourplex,
Okay, did you read the bottom of page 2?
page 2. Which one? Sorry.
Bottom of page 2, I'll read it for you. It says,
Building characteristics?
yes, it says owner is the listing agent. Do you see that part?
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
did you read that section?
Yeah,
You sure?
yeah.
What did that section say?
So this says that the wholesaler, he bought it and then he listed. So he was the,
I'm going to tell you what it says. It says listing agent owns the property, investor special, the single family in-unit townhouse. First sentence, single family. Later says that you can build up and make profit as a single family, or you can apply for a different variance. Are you aware of that?
so, yeah, that's what they mentioned because, what was told us, the previous owner did not pay the rental license, therefore it is under the Norristown codes, they will be treated as single family until you go to the zoning and get the zoning approval.
So
So,
did you acquire it as a single family, or did you acquire it as a quadplex?
based on the seller, he said, we convey that as single family, but it has to get the approval from the zoning board.
So
to
you
use
was a single family when you acquired the property, is that correct?
The listing, yes, that's what they say in the listing.
Thank you.
I also have a question around, I think your testimony was, it's too big and has too many rooms to be a single family.
Yes, yes.
I guess, how did you reach that conclusion? Because,
So,
go ahead.
yeah, I mean, my conclusion based on like, if you look at 3 units and each unit has 2 bedrooms, and if we convert, then as of now, there are 6 bedrooms plus 2 family rooms and living areas. So that will add up to 6 plus maybe at least two more bedrooms. It'll become 7, 8 bedrooms.
So 707 Chain Street is right adjacent to your property, right?
Correct.
Single-family home or multifamily home?
I believe it's single family.
Similar size as 705?
Maybe smaller because the 705 has extension on the back side. So, probably like 800 square feet smaller.
In your opinion, to your knowledge, is there houses in Norristown that have 6 bedrooms?
Yeah, they're there. I mean, I heard about
Do you
it.
think 6-bedroom houses in Norristown are rentable?
I mean, if we simply ask possible, but, the demand-wise will be a lot less and the usage-wise will be a lot harder for the tenants or the owners because of the size and number of rooms.
Anything else from the board?
So your intentions are to convert this from a single family to a duplex?
Yeah, I mean, like if you look at the parcel, 701 leave as it is, like because this is a detached, there's no link between the units or between the 2 houses. But 705, we would like to convert first floor 1 unit and second and third convert into 1. So basically merging second floor and third floor to 1 and leave the first floor as its current configuration.
And respectfully, I would just like to point out again that as far as converting it to a duplex, it's physically a triplex. It's for zoning purposes, it's a single, but it is, I think it's an important factor here that turning this back into a single-family home is changing it from a triplex that apparently it's used for a long time, and I guess the municipality will give us some history about that, but anyway, I'd just like to make that point.
But you would state that based on the documentation you provided to us, at least from what I counted on this page, in that neighborhood, when you listed, there's 41 duplexes. And you're trying to, you just said it yourself, turn it into a triplex. You are, because it's one parcel.
No,
So wait, if we're-
701 is a twin. It does not connect to 705. It's under the R2 zoning, that's a twin home. That has its own separate,
Did you say it was one parcel though, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's tax,
He
yeah, for
said it
tax
was-
purposes, but it doesn't change the fact that it's a brick wall that doesn't access the building. I mean, it's
It's
not.
one parcel, so,
Yeah, parcel
it's
is.
one parcel.
I suppose for accounting
And when you
purposes, it's
divide one
parcel.
parcel into 3, that's a triplex, that's 3,
No.
3.
Respectfully, I don't think that's a fair characterization of what the physical condition is here.
And you might be talking apples, oranges, physical versus whatever, but one parcel divided into 3 separates makes it 3 separates. It doesn't make it 2, it makes it 3.
Well, respectfully, I don't think my client needs zoning relief for 701. That can't become part of 705 without blowing through a brick wall and really changing, I don't even know if that physically could be done. That has to be dealt with, treated as a separate house. I mean, it's a separate building.
Does it have to be if it's the same parcel? You're saying that it has to be. Where's it documented that it has to be if it's one parcel?
Well, how could you occupy a house if it's got a brick wall down the middle? I mean, it doesn't, I mean, how could you do that?
But how could we not count it as three if it's one parcel?
Well, I think maybe we are talking about apples and oranges here. I mean, I think what my client's, I think in my opinion, and I would posit to the board that 701, he has the right to treat that as a separate building and have it used as such.
Just because
Seven
there
oh
is
five.
Is that right, documented in a code somewhere? Are you referring to something? where
Yeah,
you have
but
the
yeah,
right to treat it as a
the
separate building?
R2 district allows 320-41 use regulations. Has permitted housings are a single-family detached dwelling, a twin dwelling, which is defined earlier in the code as a two buildings sharing a common wall. Actually, I've been calling it as twin. It's actually a row house dwelling.
Are you telling me something that uses the word parcel in it?
No.
Okay,
no,
so
the
you're
parcel's
not, so we're not,
parcel's
we're not
even-
talking the same language, first of all.
Well, I don't think
So
that-
as, he's the one who said it was one parcel, right? So one parcel, you pay taxes on a parcel. You don't pay it, it's divided, but you pay it, and I'm not talking about municipality-wise, one parcel. One parcel, and you're asking us to take the one parcel and to have three.
No, because the parcel is not even, I don't even think that's used in the zoning ordinance. It's not.
Mr. Campbell, do you think 701 is part of this application?
I don't think it is. I don't think it requires
So, I mean,
approval
I-
from the board.
I understand you don't think it requires approval, but you filed an application referencing 705 Chain. Is the address and that building at 701 part of this application?
In my view, it's not.
So that's what we think, the board, but because in the same parcel, and if you say single, then basically converting all four into one. So I think in the approval, if you say, because there are two different legal addresses, 701 and 705, we just want to bring that to your attention to say that's how it is. So, I mean, however it is represented by the township or the board approval or, whatever. So that one, for that reason, we wanted to show that on the same parcel, there's one more house is there, one more property, because they're sharing the wall without no other connections, either in terms of utility or for access in and out. So, I mean, we want to hear from you, like how you want us to treat that, but we think that is a separate legal address. It cannot be different property because it's on the same parcel.
Thank you. I think it may benefit the board if we hear from the municipality on the history.
You have a question?
One more question. So you say two separate legal addresses. What does that mean?
So, I mean, it's
Because-
marked as, like, if you see the street, right? If you go to 705, if anything comes in the mailing, there are two different mailing. The US Postal Office address-wise is 705 and
That's the
701.
US Post Office, but my understanding is legally, legal unit is a parcel, right? That's what you have a deed for, is a parcel. The post office assigns addresses, and they can assign whatever they want to assign. But my understanding is legally, it's the parcel, because that's what you have a deed for. Is your understanding different?
Yeah, I mean, parcel binds everything together, but, I think based on the characteristics, based on how it's located, I think we might interpret differently, but for utility purpose, for address purpose, for any references is 701. But when you come to the real property, especially buying and selling, it has to be done together because it's sitting on the same parcel. I mean, technically because corner property, and if you look at the width of it, maybe it is a double lot. But they had an option to split, but if you go for subdivision, that it might qualify for the row home. I mean, I don't know what else to say,
What are your intentions for 701?
701, it can be used as a, single rental, like, the studio, a smaller property. It can be a separate studio.
What was it used for before?
It's a studio, separate studio.
Studio for residential or studio for business?
I think it can be used either way, depending on the usage and the approval. If it is commercial, I think we have to come back to zoning to say Can I use that as a commercial? It's a residential building, residential parcel.
I'm asking, what was it previously used for?
So because it's like vacant for long, I'm not sure how it was used before.
Is there a bathroom in unit 701?
There's a kitchen, bathroom, everything is there.
Full bathroom?
Yes.
So someone was living in 701
It's
previously,
at some
before you
point,
acquired
at
it?
some point somebody might have lived, yes.
You said some time ago someone used it?
Yeah. I mean, because there's a bathroom there, there's a kitchen there, so I believe somebody would have lived before.
The utilities for 701, is that associated with the 705?
No. It has its separate water meter, separate, gas meter, separate electric pico, so all separate.
Is it just the one entrance that's in the front here on exhibit, I guess this is exhibit
So
A?
that is the first, if you see the left-hand side, it is the corner entrance is the entrance to inside. The back side, it has the exit out.
So is this a wall or window, this front?
Yeah, that is because it's not being occupied, we boarded the door. So we are not seeing the door, we are seeing just the, plywood.
I'm talking about to the right of the door or to the left, depending on how you're looking at it. What is that? Is that a glass wall or? what
It's a
is it?
glass wall, yes.
And someone was using that as a residential?
That's what I see it on the inside.
I think the municipality may clear up some of those
Okay.
questions.
Can I just ask one quick question
Sure.
before we go over there? So I can pull up 701 and see that it's been renovated and it's up for rent. So there had to be some renovation done to 701 because it's online and it's up for rent and it's updated as since March 12th. So there was work done you just testified you don't know what was in there before, but it clearly is set up as a one-bedroom apartment or whatever now, right? It was renovated.
It was previously done, that's what we see.
By you?
No, not by me. The seller, maybe prior seller.
All right, let's go to the municipality and get some testimony from the municipality.
The subject property is in the R2 residential district and is proposed to operate as a duplex. The property was previously utilized as a quadruplex. However, that use has been abandoned. At this time, there is no record indicating when the property was last legally established or maintained as a multifamily use. We have no history of a 701 in our records. And in 2020, someone came and applied for the single-family use with us, which was approved, but we would have to check with building the code to see if it was ever converted into that single-family that they were approved for. Yeah,
So it was approved for a
it
single.
was approved for a single-family
2020,
2020.
the property in question.
What documentation does the municipality have showing that it's a quadplex?
What documentation? We have older zoning permits, just transfer of ownerships and everything.
Going back to when?
As early as 2018.
Oh, so 2018?
Yeah, that's
You have
the-
information that it was a quadplex? You have
Yes.
rental licenses or anything
No
like that?
history of a rental license.
Did it consist of a quadplex because of the 701 and 705 attachment?
Yeah, I think so.
I would assume so, because we don't have a record of a 701.
So it was all considered one, I guess?
Yes.
That would be our belief, that there were three in 705 and one in 701 would make the four.
So then that goes back to the question of my colleague. Is this one unit in one building, or is it two?
I'm not sure, I guess I'm not really quite sure what
Is it partial?
where that question is leading, because where the concern is leading, because one has, 701 and 705 could not be occupied altogether as a single-family home. Because there would be part of the building that you couldn't get to from 705 and 701. There's a brick wall that's separating them. So that has to be treated as two buildings. I don't know how else to express that. I think
Is
the
that-
question
is that
really
brick
before the
wall-
board is whether 705 should be, should a variance be granted to make 705 something other than a single-family home, since it's presently configured as 3 units, and I think there's probably more history that is not in the record right now as to how it got to be used as a triplex. Somebody was obviously operating it like that because it has 3 kitchens in it.
Mr. Campbell, in instances of an in-law suite, you can have a brick wall. It's all in the same parcel, am I correct? You can have more than one, you can have a brick wall that separates the main property from the other, and all be on the same parcel.
I'm not sure the safety code permits that. If you had
Is this
a fire or, I don't know, a child in the building, and I don't know. Do you have to go outside to get to it?
Yeah, you do, and if you have an in-law suite, sometimes you have to go across the grass, go around the back. It can be a stone wall that separates the two
I think
buildings.
it's clear, and it can't be clearer that
Is
that's
this brick wall existing?
a row home, that's a row home under the ordinance, which is a permitted use. It's configured with a brick, with a shared, it has a common wall with no opening to it.
Is this brick wall existing, or it was put up in an effort to separate the properties?
No, I think it was pre-existing, as we said. It's a basement by itself for the side unit or the 701. So I think it's always, that's how it was built. It is not like, modified later on. There is no access in the basement to go from 701 to 705, and there's nothing connects 701 and 705. They are standing separately, side by side.
I did look at the county recorder of deeds records before coming here tonight to try to sort out how it got to be one parcel. I couldn't find anything. I did not file a right to know request with the municipality to get all their records. I think if I had those records, that might shine more, make it more clear exactly how it.
Mr. Campbell, there does seem to be evidence that we don't have access to. The code enforcement was at the building multiple occasions over the past years. We don't know what their information could bring. They may not have anything, but we know they were there. If you wanted to continue this to get that information, we could do that.
If the board would entertain it, I think that might help. And I could also, as to the vice chairwoman's question about the difference in cost between making this property taking it from a triplex to a duplex versus the cost of making it taking it from a triplex to a single, I could have my client produce that. That would be of help.
We'll entertain a motion to continue, but before we do that, I think if there's any members of the public who wish to testify this evening who can't make the next meeting, we should open the floor up for them. Are there any members of the public that wish to testify in favor or against this application? We'll let the record reflect there are none. The board have a motion?
Make a motion to continue application 53-25, request for a variance to the April hearing, zoning board hearing, to give the applicant time to provide information with regards to documentation from the code.
Yeah, we're going to request that a member of the Code Enforcement Department
Okay, and,
be present at the next hearing with records.
okay.
I'll second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Application is continued to the next meeting. Applications.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go back to application 1425, Mr. Campbell. This is for a decision on the Ballandrini Holdings LLC application. The property is 348 Sweetbriar Road, King of Prussia, PA, 19406. The property location is 1225 West Main Street. The property owner is Berlingeri Holdings LLC. Mr. Saracen, this is a remand from the Court of Common Pleas.
It is a remand, and this evening is just discussion and vote by the board, no further testimony.
Got it. With that said, is there a motion on the remand for application 1425?
3 board members involved.
Okay. We're going to go off the record for just a moment.
what utilities are covered and what is tenant responsibility? Just electricity, all other utilities paid by the landlord. So water, sewer, trash is included. Okay. So first about that. Sure, yeah, please text me when you're on the way. So I can send it to you. Yeah. Sure. See you Thursday. I wanted to yell at you. Good to yell at you in person.
All right, we're gonna go back on the record. So where we left off was a decision on the remand for 1025 West Main. Does somebody want to make a motion on that application?
I'll make a motion to approve application 14-25 for the requested relief to permit the change of the use from a duplex to a triplex.
A second on the motion?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? Abstain. Motion carries, application's approved, 2-1. All right, we're gonna move on to the next application. Move on to the next application. It's application 73-25. It's a request for a variance and interpretation. The applicant is Uven Properties LLC, 3842 Vincent Drive, Collegeville, PA, 19426. Property location is 1416 Pine Street, Norristown, PA. The property owner and the applicant are the same. The applicant is requesting a variance from Article 5, R2, Section 320-41, use regulations to permit a duplex in the R2 residential district. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me. Sean Whalen here on behalf of Uvan Properties. Given that you guys have a long night, I spoke with your solicitor prior to the hearing, and I would offer to provide an offer of proof with both Mr. Harry Patel, the managing member of UVAN Properties, and Tony Masso as the architect to answer any questions after I present the case to you.
Sounds good. We want to get your witnesses sworn in, and after they're offer proof, they can answer any questions for us. Get that out the way.
Certainly. While they're getting sworn in, can I pass up?
Absolutely.
Harry Patel. Yes, Harry, and last name is Patel, Patel.
Tony Maso, last name is Maso. Yes.
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Floor is yours when you're ready.
Thank you very much. Again, Sean Whalen here for UVAN Properties, 1416 Pine Street. I just handed up a complete package of documents that I'll walk through as an offer of proof. Again, if you flip to the first page, you can see this is just sort of to orient where we are in the township, right in between Juniper and Locust Street on Pine Street. This is, if you go to the very next page, you can see a very large corner twin at 1416 Pine Street. What you see adjacent to that corner twin is actually not a separate street. It's an alleyway drive aisle. The property right next door, 1418 Pine Street, is currently a rental duplex. And as you already heard from the solicitor, we are here to seek relief to convert this single family into a duplex. If you flip to the third page, you'll see an aerial photo of the rear. This is relevant because you can see the rear of our property is heavily overgrown. You can see the rest of the houses on the block that front on Pine Street, just like ours, have rear access driveways off of a rear alley. Part of this application and part of our, there's no current off-street parking for this property. Part of this application would be to include 3 off-street parking spaces in the rear, which we think will improve that condition. Again, if we go to the next page, you just see the tax map ID, parcel ID rather, and then the tax map on the next page. UVAN Properties purchased this building in August of 2024. It was purchased as a single-family house. It was attempted to be rented as a single-family house, sat vacant for, it was listed in a number of ways, both on Facebook Marketplace and Zillow, among others. It sat vacant until February of 2025, at which point the owner was unable to put any families. No families came forward, and this is a residential, family neighborhood. And so the only groups that he was able to find and only people who came forward were large groups of unrelated individuals who wanted to rent it and, in order to save money on regular rentals and share the property. That is part of the hardship here. It also leads to the issue of neither UVAN Properties as the owner, nor we believe the neighborhood wants these kind of large groups of individuals with high turnover who don't invest in the neighborhood. They don't become part of the neighborhood. Then if you go to the first page, I'm not sure why it printed out small. I apologize for that. We see a photo. This is standing in the middle of the street looking at the twin. Again, this is a large twin. The property in front of you tonight is 1416 Pine Street. That's the one on the right-hand side. You can't see it here, but basically right behind that blue car that's there is the drive aisle alleyway. The next page shows, again, sort of from this drive aisle alleyway, a corner shot of the existing home itself. We would note this application does not include any new exterior construction. Again, we would be putting in addition, the very rear of the property, off-street parking spaces to try to assuage, any traffic increase that might be caused by adding this here. The next page, was able to blow up fully because this is a straight shot on the side. As I'll walk you through the plans in just a second, you can see basically the intention right under that triple window is to put in, there's currently an unfinished basement here. And the idea here is it would be a walk-in front door to add an additional main access right to that property there. Each of the proposed units, this building is approximately 2,800 square feet, and each of the proposed units would be approximately 1,100 square feet and 1,600 square feet, each a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. So it'd be a very viable use for families to get families in here, which are much more stable tenants, obviously for the landlord, but also much more stable and better for the community as far as that relationship. If you go to the next page, that's simply a shot of the back. There's a very long existing rear yard. You can start to see the height difference between the existing rear yard elevation and where that road is. Again, that's why we are seeking to finish off the basement. It'll be a basement first floor unit, but the basement will actually be a walk-in, walk-out at grade access. It will not be, a dark basement. If you flip forward just a couple more pages, I included quite a few. I don't think we need to belabor them. I can answer any questions you might have about them. The property in the interior is in very good condition. It has been in very good condition. It's going to remain that way. So, we are not here suggesting that we couldn't rent it out because it was run down and then lo and behold, we're going to fix it up and then somebody's going to want it. This has been in fantastic condition since we bought it, since the property owner purchased it, and again, simply was not able to rent it except for these large groups of 5, 6, 7 individuals who wanted to rent it all together. So again, you can just flip through those, and then at the end of the packet, I simply have included for completeness the zoning determination letter, the application, and the deed. So here, I also handed up a separate set of 3 documents. They include floor plans of the existing building. That's the first of the 11 by 17. You can see this is an existing 5-bedroom building, 5-bedroom, 1.5 bath building with no parking. And what you'll see as we go forward, there are actually in this neighborhood now already 11 duplexes that have been converted from single family, including immediately next door. So the party wall that we share is with an existing duplex that received the relief from this board. There's also a triplex and one building of, I believe it's 6 units, but it was more than 5. So the second page of the floor plans actually lays out what we are proposing. And again, this would be having the first floor and basement be, again, as a walkout basement, would be 1 unit for 3 bedrooms, and then you would have unit 2 going up from the enclosed porch, and you would have also a 3-bedroom unit on the second and third floors. So what you have, again, here is the 2 bases for hardship are 1, it's simply too big, and I've already stated it, but you can ask my client as well. It was attempted to be rented and thought to be rented as a single family. The desire was to keep it as a single family and simply couldn't find any families that wanted to come and rent this 5-bedroom unit in this location. And so that was the genesis of starting to speak to Tony here, the architect, and to try to move this forward. The other aspect, which I'm sure the board is aware, is that when you have a change in a neighborhood, that can constitute a hardship in and of itself. And here what we have is, as evidenced I had a separate map included. You can see color-coded, just in this immediate few blocks, you have multiple single-family homes being converted into duplexes. Again, there is one triplex. I couldn't find the history on that one or the larger building, but there are, like I said, already 11 duplexes in this immediate area and location. So we are asking for, relief under 320-41 to allow this duplex in an R2 residential neighborhood. Again, this was attempted to be rented as a single family, simply could not be rented as a single family, and has led to this application. We believe this is the least minimum variance because even though we couldn't rent this over large property in this location, we're not seeking 3 units or 4 units or any new construction. We tried to see what would be the minimum amount of relief that we needed in order to get over that hurdle. That was simply to ask for 1 more unit. Again, here we think that this is in the best interest of the public health, welfare, and safety because this will be adding you'll have 2 3-bedroom units, which is ideal rental conditions for families who will come in. They will be much more stable, less turnover, more investment in the neighborhood, more part of the fabric of the neighborhood. And as I described, there's currently there's no parking on either of those alleys. The alley, sort of, I called it a drive aisle off of Pine Street, or the alley that goes back behind all of the homes that front on Pine Street. That's why all of those homes have parking garages, and we would be putting in 3-car parking back there, which would be dedicated solely for the new units in order to take those 3 cars off the street and not lead to any additional congestion. So obviously I went through that very quickly, given the hour and your extensive agenda. As I said, Mr. Patel and Mr. Masso are here to answer any questions, as well as I'm happy to answer any questions that I may have kind of blown over there. August of 2024? Oh, I'm sorry.
Mention your client, counsel.
August 2024.
Prior to purchasing, prior to acquiring the property, what type of research did you do on this building?
I read seller disclosure. I read seller's disclosure.
I'm sorry?
I read seller's disclosure. So there is a seller disclosure. It was a single family house. I bought it as a single family house. And the intent was to.
So your intentions when you purchased this single family house was automatically to convert it to a 2-family? Is that what happened?
If you can repeat that question, what was it?
Sure. When you acquired the property as a single family house,
Yes.
was it your intentions to keep it as a single family house?
Yes, that was the intention, and we kept it as a single family. We bought it in August of 2024. The house was marketed for rent as a single family from August of 2024 to February of 2025, and then we were able to.
Where did you market this property for rental at?
It was on Facebook. We have a U1 Properties Facebook page. It was on Zillow, and those are the 2 spots, and also a Section 8 website as well. And a Section 8 website as well. Website, yeah.
And when did you come up with the conclusion that you needed to convert this single family home to a duplex?
The conclusion was I started doing research and then spoke with Tony and the architect firm, and then that's when we decided to look into convert it into duplexes, as most of the requests that we were getting is smaller unit versus bigger units. So ideally the potential tenant would look for 2 to 3 bedrooms, and that house was too big for them.
So prior to you having a conversation with your architect, did you consider what your options were in terms of this duplex conversion?
If you could clarify those questions, please.
Sure. Did you do any research to see if anyone would be interested in a duplex or 2 separate units in this structure? How did you come with the conclusion that you had to convert it to a duplex? That's what I'm trying to.
Oh, yeah, I drove around and I saw many properties which are duplexes and similar to this home. Actually, 1418 is also duplex, the right next door. And this house are almost identical. And that's when I decided that I can turn into duplexes because those smaller units are occupied and have family living in there.
So I'm looking at your proposed plan, and the difference really only is you are putting an apartment in the basement. So it's not really doing much difference with the upper level.
So just to be clear, and the architect can go through this more clearly, just to be clear, both units would be split level. So the unit would not be solely in the basement, it would also be on the existing first floor plan. If you'd like, I'm happy to have the architect walk through that.
And where does that occur at? Because what I'm looking at in proposed, number 2 proposed first floor plan, it looks like it's saying this is unit 1, and unit 1 consists of the first floor, second floor, and third floor.
You might be looking at an old plan.
All Vanna White.
I'm looking at the evidence that you just provided me 5 minutes ago.
If you, on the first floor, there is a enclosed porch. If you walk in that enclosed porch, you enter a short hallway and you go up steps that go up to the second floor, which is the unit number 2, second floor, and third floor. You can't get.
But the
from
second, I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt you, but the second and third floor do not have a kitchen, nor does it have a living room. So the assumption is that the first, second, and third floor is still the one single-family house.
On the plan,
It says proposed. Huh? Next page is a map.
are you looking at sheet A1 or A2?
Thank you. All right. Thank you, that changes.
I'm sorry, I apologize, that might be an older version of it. But the one I'm looking at, can I show you?
No, that's fine.
I'm sorry, that's my error.
I have another question. Well, I was going to refer to this exhibit. I'm not sure if we labeled this one separately, the one that shows area map nearby multifamily properties. So on your block, there's only one that's labeled as a 2-family dwelling, and then 8 that aren't. So those other 8, are those single families?
According to the tax map, I went through, picking each property, seeing what it was registered as. I didn't walk around the neighborhood and see, what multiple mailboxes, multiple meters. So, to my knowledge.
Okay, and are they similar sizes to your property?
To my knowledge, I don't know. I didn't walk around the neighborhood.
So would it be safe to assume that you don't reside in this area because you can't give them too much, you're not able to provide?
I
too
can
much
answer that
information?
question, if I may.
Sure.
Yeah, so on Pine Street, on Pine Street, these 2 houses are different. If you could look, 1416 and 1418 are completely different. Those are bigger units. But if you were to go down towards Freely Street, these units are smaller. These houses are smaller houses, and I know that, and I have verified that.
Okay.
And I also own another house right down the street, so I'm familiar with the area.
When you say smaller, are they what, 4 bedrooms?
4 bedrooms.
Do you know square footage of those?
I don't know top of my head, but it's,
Have you been
I would
inside?
say a minimum of about at least 400 square foot less than what we have at 1416 and 1418.
So yours is a 5-bedroom, but some of these.
5 bedrooms, and 5 bedrooms are bigger in size. They are high ceiling, way bigger. If you can see those pictures, the picture that you see, it's bigger, high ceiling.
Do you know whether,
No, I mean, so, I mean, I didn't mean to interrupt, Melanie.
I have one more, but it's
Okay, you
unrelated.
go ahead.
To go back, I was gonna ask, when you purchased the property in August 24, do you know how long it was listed at the time when you purchased it?
Yes, that was listed for 6 months, August to February of 2025. August, September, October, November, December, January, February.
No, when you bought it, how long did the
Was it
seller
listed for
list it?
sale?
Oh, yeah, that was listed for 3 months, but then they were looking for alternative house, so they could not find it, so we kind of had to wait for closing for additional 3 to 4 months.
So it was listed for sale for 3 months before you went to acquire the property?
Yeah, the closing was took about 6 months once we
Sure.
came, but it was listed. I don't know the exact time frame, how long it was listed for, but it was listed for quite some time, 2 months or
I'm
maybe
trying to
less than 3 months, I
understand-
would say.
I'm trying to understand if there wasn't a market to rent this property, perhaps there was a market to purchase a property. Like if we're looking at renting this as a single-family home, perhaps not as an investment property, but that somebody would purchase it as a single-family home and use it as a single-family home.
We saw the listing and the intent was to buy it as is, as a single family, and rent it out as a single family. That was the intention.
I'm curious to know what you know about the character of this neighborhood. Because what I see on here in this, the evidence that we were just talking about, the area map, nearby multifamily properties, and I think I counted maybe 12 properties that were sort of handpicked out of the neighborhood. Tell me about the other 50 or so.
Yeah, sure. Tell me the number.
Give me an idea, same character as the one that we're talking about here. You'd mentioned the ones on Pine Street, 4 bedrooms as opposed to your 5. Can you tell me any more about
Yeah.
these other properties?
Yeah, sure. So right on the Pine Street here, if we were to go towards this Bailey Street, this house, right? So if you were to go from Pine to Bailey, this corner house, it is facing towards Pine Street, is identical to what we are trying to accomplish, where they have entrance from the ground, from the street level to enter to the basement, lower level. And that is exactly, as of right now, I have verified and I have seen it.
Is that a single-family home?
I don't know.
Oh, so that's what I want to get at, because you showed me a map with, 12 out of, I didn't count all the other ones, out of a certain amount of homes in this general neighborhood are multifamily. I'm trying to get an idea of what you know about the character of the neighborhood regarding multifamily versus single-family, and also size.
So the size can be verified. It is significantly bigger. And when we say character, are we looking for the size or are we looking for just generic version? What the apartment or house is converted in?
What is it used as?
Yeah, they are all of these houses we have verified 103 furnace. This is locus, 103 furnace. These are all converted into mini units, I would say.
So is it safe to say you're not sure about the character of the neighborhood regarding the single-family use of the properties in that general neighborhood?
No, it is not true, because I know the neighborhood and I can answer and I can provide. When we say character, if you can
Well,
clarify, what are you looking for? What if you ask me specification and I can answer.
Well, you just pointed out one particular property at the end of that block that is very similar to yours.
Yes.
And I asked you, is it a single-family home? And you said you don't know.
So It is single-family home, but it might not, it may be duplex, we don't know. As legally, it is single-family.
It can't be both.
Legally, it is single-family.
Okay, all right. Tell me about the rental history. Well, you said you've been attempting to rent this out since, I guess, for at least a year.
We were attempting to rent it out for 6 months, and then from August of 2024 to February of 2025, then we found a group of people, friends, who came in and started renting. And then what happened was one person started leaving, so the property kind of got empty, and now we are back to square one. And we have been attempting to rent the house as a whole unit, but we are unable to rent it, and as of right now, it is still marketed for rent.
Tell me about the price that you have it listed for the rental, or the history of that.
Yeah, so the price we have listed as $3,150, and we have lowered it down.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
The price that we have listed as $3,150, and we have lowered it down to $3,050, and we just cannot go any further.
So you made one price move from $3,150 to $3,050
As of right now, yes.
Okay. Have you done any marketing studies in the neighborhood about what's a fair rental for this type of unit?
Yes, I have.
And
I know the neighborhood. This is the only where I invest, so I know the neighborhood.
Okay, so tell me more about the neighborhood. Tell me
So
more about what are rents going for a single-family home in this neighborhood?
So there varies in this neighborhood for 5 bedrooms. This is the there is not specific range, but this is the range that we would look for around this price point. And at 3,000 mark would be the fair price, and where it works for us, because it has to make sense. The financing has to work as well. So this is where we would have to. We cannot go any lower than this.
So $3,050 is like the bare.
If somebody is really
is the minimum that would make sense for you.
No, if somebody is really interested and who wants to move forward, then we can also consider. We do have some wiggle room, but somebody needs to come forward to rent it out. We haven't. It's too big for family to find. 5 bedrooms, huge basement, and the other question that we get is utility bill. If the utility bill is that, I think that was the one of the reason that those group of people left, because the utility bills were so high for them. So
had you considered utilizing your wiggle room?
I'm sorry? Yeah, if somebody wants to move forward, but there is not much, because then we won't get financing. The property has to cash flow, and it has to work with the bank as well. If we have to go to $2,000, then it would not work, because we also have expenses, maintaining the property, upkeeping the property. We just don't want to.
I'm aware.
Keep it in
I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
But you said you have some wiggle room.
Yeah,
It's only been 6 months, and you've only moved
6 months.
$100.
I'm sorry to interrupt. It's 6 months, then we barely rent it out, and now we are back to square one. So we cannot go so long.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
So just full disclosure, right? I own 2 properties on the 1300 block of Pine Street. Also a real estate agent. And if parties have any problems, happy to recuse myself. Just let me know. Not, I'll continue and ask my questions.
He owns on 13. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So simple question. Can the property be used as a single family? Is there anything unique about the property that prevents it from being a single family house?
I would say, as we've testified, as he can testify again, it's simply too large in this location to be used as a single-family house.
So there's no other single families of this size in half-mile radius of this house?
There certainly may be, and they may have different economics. And yes, maybe he could sell it, but that's not a zoning question of whether or not, and that's not relevant for a hardship determination about whether or not he could sell it. I personally parked in front of the house. I walked each of the blocks in sort of a figure-8 pattern. I would estimate that there are about another 10 to 15 properties that are being rented out as multifamily, just from indications of, trash cans where there's like a painted 1 and a 2 on it, or, multiple mailboxes, things of that nature. What you see on the map is simply what is legally being operated as multiple units. Again, mine was simply an anecdotal afternoon. I parked in front of the house, walked around for about 20, 25 minutes in multiple directions. So yes, again, the issue is always, can this be rented as a single-family house? Sure. At $1,000, is somebody going to come in and rent it? Maybe. At $2,000? But the question isn't, can they give it away? You heard that it was even listed on the Section 8 website. Nobody is coming in here, and nobody is coming to even inquire about renting this property, and therefore, that's what creates the hardship. And as you can see from the evidence, there's already a legal change in this neighborhood where properties are turning over. There are certainly single families, and I would say that they're probably even, my guess would be at least 70% single families in the neighborhood. But all the recent duplexes and triplexes that we saw have been recent. This has been a relatively recent change in the neighborhood from having these very large single-family homes moving forward to additional units. And again, we could try to squeeze, be asking here for a triplex. We're purposely not doing that. The 2 units that would be left over are, again, approximately 1,100 square feet and 1,600 square feet. These are very large. In fact, both of them would be larger than my first townhome that I purchased that was 3 bedrooms. And so the intention is to get, from a landlord's perspective, quality tenants that want to stay and families who invest in neighborhoods. And they do that, families invest as renters, families invest as owners. But those are much better for the neighborhood as well as the landlord.
Do you or the applicant live in this community? Because you're giving real strong statements about the community and the character of the community and what this community is doing and it is not. So I would like to know, because you seem to believe you have a lot of information.
So I respectfully do not.
Okay.
I gained my research, I did online research when I took on this matter. And then, like I said, every property that I represent, I go park in front of the building, commercial, industrial, residential, whatever it is, and I spend some time walking around. If there are businesses there, I walk into the businesses. There are not in this location, so that's where, I take my time to walk around. I look at who's walking around. Are there, parents and kids? Is it just all, people in their early 20s, whatnot? And so by my anecdotal research of doing that, it was largely a family neighborhood. Now, again, I didn't follow them and check where they were going into single families or duplexes or multiple units, but it was largely appeared to be a family-oriented neighborhood. That's where my
Okay,
statements are coming from.
family-oriented, so we're talking about families and homes. Families is what you said. You didn't say multiple families, right? I'm just clarifying.
No, so just to be clear, I don't want to misspeak. I did not pay attention to who was walking into or out of buildings, right? First and foremost, I don't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable when I'm walking around at their neighborhood. So what I'm talking about are the people I saw on the street getting into or out of cars, walking in different directions. Yes, I saw families in this neighborhood, predominantly. Again, there are a lot of people who were by themselves. I don't know if they were part of a family unit or not, if they were single renters. Again, I didn't watch if they were going into or out of any of the properties that we've identified as already being duplexes, or if they went into, houses that we think are single family. But that is where the basis of where I'm making these statements.
And this property was built in 1935, it appears, and it appears, and I'll find out from the municipality, that this has been a single property up until 2026. And so you feel as though there is now a need to change the character of the neighborhood?
You bought it as a single-family property. You gave it 6 months in I can definitely say, an economy that's struggling one way or the other, but you gave it 6 months of advertising. And you feel as though that is enough for you to make a decision to now want to convert it into a duplex?
Speaking. So we waited for 6 minutes and then we were able to rent it out, but then the property is vacant and now we have no qualified applicants coming forward. So so we waited for 6 months from August of 2024 to February of 2025, and then we were able to rent it for 1 year lease, but then group of people, and then they started leaving, so the property is vacant. And that's when we decided, when they started leaving, to start looking the other options, because most of the tenants that we are getting is looking for smaller units, not big 5-bedroom house. And the other big concern is utility bill is so high, so they would ask us why the utility bills are so high. We have no answer to that because we have no control over utility bill. And I don't know what to answer. They would say, tell me the PICO bill. And whatever the PICO bill is, I have to show them, here is a PICO bill, which is out of the
Question. Maybe I'm a little unclear on the basis for the variance. I think what you're saying is simply that the numbers don't make sense for you financially, and that's your only basis, right?
No.
Is there a unique situation about the house that we should consider, or anything besides your financial numbers don't make sense to you?
No, financial would not be number one. The number one priority is to be able. The number one priority is to be able to rent the house. That's the priority. We need to be able to rent it out to make sure that somebody is coming forward to rent the house. But we are not finding anybody who wants to.
So have you listed the house with a real estate agent?
Yeah.
And they put it on the MLS? Because I don't see it on the MLS.
No, I already spoke with the agent, and he even told me that it's too big. It's a Berkshire Hathaway.
So I don't think there's any agent that's going to tell you it's too big. They're going to list your house for you. So have you listed the house with the real estate agent?
No, not yet. It is gonna get listed.
Okay. And you bought the house?
It is with Berkshire Hathaway.
According to public information?
The house, we spoke with the Berkshire Hathaway agent, and he even told me that he has experience in 1940 area, and he even said it's two house tenants are not looking for, but he said he will look into it and we will still market it.
Got it.
Yeah.
According to public information, it looks like you bought the house 10 days. It's been listed for 10 days and then it was purchased. 10 days on the market. Seem accurate to you?
No, we list the house right after the purchasing. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You purchased the property with it only being listed on the market for 10 days. Seem accurate? Or you don't know? If you don't know, it's fine.
I don't know the exact. No,
Okay.
actually,
Perfect.
I want to.
Don't know?
I don't know the answer, but we did not purchase the house right after.
Understand, it takes
10
time to
days.
close. I understand
Yeah.
it takes time to close.
Yes, it was about 7 months, 6 to 7 months at minimum before we closed. So from yeah.
Just want to question, is there a possibility that you just paid too much for the house and you can't rent it for a reasonable price? Is that even a possibility?
So I did not understand the question. One more time.
Is it a possibility that you overpaid for the house?
No, I pay the fair price for Norristown. Yeah.
Got it.
So you said you listed the house for rent, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And you had people that inquired about the property, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And the people that inquired about the property, you said that they stated it was too big.
Yeah.
What size did they say would be appropriate for them in order for them to consider renting it?
So the typical range we get is about 2 to 3 bedrooms, 3-bedroom or 4-bedroom. They don't want to go past 4 bedrooms. And this house is bigger than, it's 5-bedroom, but the 5-bedroom itself are bigger. So it's too big for them.
So you have people lined up that are ready to take a 3-bedroom apartment, is that what you're saying?
We did not market as a 3-bedroom, so I don't want to say they are lined up.
I understand you didn't
But
market it as one as of yet. Listen to my question.
Okay.
You said that earlier, that you had people who were inquiring about the property, but they said they prefer something smaller, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So I'm assuming that you have individuals who you can reach out to who possibly called you previously about this being a 5-bedroom. Now that you have a 3-bedroom, you have people lined up. Is that correct?
Yeah, thank you for that question. Actually, they did ask me that if we ever decided to, we did talk about if we are unable to rent this big house, and they even said like if you decide to go smaller and if you have 3-bedroom, I would love to rent your house. So
Hypothetically, what happens if you can't rent out the 2 3-bedrooms? Are you going to consider converting it to triplex?
we
To
should be
make
able
it
to
2
rent.
bedrooms, 2 bedrooms on each unit?
That was the request that we are getting, so we should be able to rent it out.
Okay.
Because it's financially, it makes sense, we can, for both parties, and I feel strongly that we should be able to rent it out. Because typically the family size that we are seeing is family and 1 or 2 child, so they need 2 or 3 bedrooms. No, they don't want to pass 3 bedrooms.
Okay. You mentioned that 3150 was in the range of the appropriate for this size house, correct?
Yeah, we pay for all the maintenance, sewer and other.
Is that on the high end of the spectrum, or is that on the lower end?
No, 3,000 would be the fair price, so typically
That's not the question I asked you. Is it on the higher end, in the middle, or is it on the lower end?
it is on the middle,
In the
fair
middle.
price, yeah.
So what's the lower end of this?
Lower end would be 29 or 29.50.
Okay. So
The-
$75 less than what you,
The
30, 50 that you.
Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of room because in 2024 we have close to 5% tax increase, and 2025 we have about 5% this year, so 10% total. So we cannot raise the rent by 10%.
So you also presented in your exhibit this map with the highlighted properties, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And you identified units that, or homes that used to be single-family that were converted to two-family.
Yes, that's correct.
And your counsel stated that these were recent conversions. Is that correct?
So we,
So your attorney just made a statement on your behalf saying that these multifamily, or these duplex were recently converted from single-family to duplex. Is that correct?
yeah, they are converted more than 1 units, the ones which are
How
highlighted.
were you able to obtain information in reference to when these houses were converted from single-family to duplex?
So I can answer that. Again, this was part of the online research that I was doing, looking through property records, looking at trying to see building permits, and, you know, what evidence I could find. And by recent, I don't mean the last 12 months or the last 3 years. I saw evidence roughly in the last 10 years that these were appeared to be converted in the last 10 years. Again, I don't have hard documentation for that. That's simply my anecdotal research. What I was trying to mean was these are not, long-standing duplexes. It appears from the records that I could find that this whole neighborhood, all the blocks, were built as single-family homes.
Okay. Are you aware of whether or not these duplexes, these homes that were converted from single-family to duplex, were they approved as being able to convert a single-family to a duplex?
That is my understanding. It was research done by the architect about that.
All the houses or buildings that are marked as either duplex or triplex, that's what I found on the tax map, tax records. That's where I got that information.
that's
So
not
I don't know if they're listed that way. I would say that they've been legalized.
So to your knowledge, you're stating that you don't know whether or not these were converted legally or illegally. Is that correct?
Well, if they're listed on the tax registry as duplex, it would stand to reason that they're legalized, correct?
That doesn't mean it's legalized. There was a previous applicant just before you. They had something that was listed as a quadruplex, and it was listed, the documents that they provided said it was a single family. So just because it's on the document doesn't mean that it was
Well,
correct.
I can't speak to where they got the quadruplex. Did they get that from the tax map, or did they get that from a history with, Norristown, that's the zoning history of it? I don't have the zoning history of those properties. Like I said, just,
So you don't know whether or not these properties were converted with the appropriate authority granted by the municipality. Is that correct?
May I answer? So typically, from what we are learning from Norristown is, I would go in to check to see what is the usage and proposed, what can we do before purchasing the property, and this is the first thing we do. We go to Montgomery County website and look for usage, current usage, and I'm not sure if there is a way to find out if it's legal
So
or
I'm
not
not
legal,
actually,
because-
my question isn't about current uses. My question is about whether or not these single families that you're saying are now two families or duplexes were granted permission to make that happen.
and we have verified that on county website, Montgomery County.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
county would have to get their information from Norristown, correct?
You are the applicant applying for relief here. So did you do the due diligence to find that information out?
Yeah, I think due diligence in looking at the tax registry to see.
Did you speak
if
to
they're
someone
paying-
at the
if they're
zoning-
paying taxes on, as a duplex, it would have to be registered. I mean, that's my, as an architect, 20 years' experience, that's, if someone's renting out a property, there's record of that. There's record of what they're renting it out as. Do they have a rental license? If they're renting it out as a duplex, but it's only legalized as a single family, that wouldn't show, the online records wouldn't show it as a duplex, it would show it as a single family.
Did you reach out to the municipality to confirm whether or not these properties that you are showing or demonstrating as duplexes were in fact granted permission to be converted to a duplex?
I did not.
Knowing that you purchased a single family, are you prepared to continue to use it as a single family if you're unsuccessful, or are you going to attempt to do something else with this property?
We have to think about it because we don't know the answer yet.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the applicant? No, we'll go to the municipality.
Subject property is located in the R2 residential district, proposing to operate as a duplex after previously operating as a single-family home. That's the only use we've seen there.
Thank you. Anybody from the public want to testify either in favor or opposition of the application? Please speak up now. If you can just tell us your name and your relationship to the property, then you can tell us whatever you want to.
My name's Tiffany Todd. Can't say that I specifically have a
Can you
specified,
be sworn in first, please?
Sorry.
Tiffany, Tiffani, last name Todd, Todd. I do. I'm a resident of Norristown for 26 years. I live probably a couple of blocks away from the home that they are discussing. It's a huge issue in Norristown, always has been, with rentals. It undermines our borough. And to see another home turned into a multi-unit property, it's not good for us. This is a huge burden for Norristown, all these rentals. We talk about it year after year after year, what a burden it is. I'm sorry that it's a financial burden for you, and that's the hardship. It just appears that it is a financial burden, and I get that. Because as a homeowner in Norristown, I struggle month after month, trying to make my mortgage. And it's a struggle for all of us. So I guess I got some answers with what your intent was when you purchased a property. It's not the size of it isn't any more huge than any of the other homes that are in that area. And I guess have you gone out and spoken with the single-family homes, the people that live there, those families? How would they feel about yet another duplex rental being in their neighborhood? We're not for it. I'm like already, within 3 months, I'm watching the fabric of my street begin to unravel due to rentals. And I just, like, enough's enough. We need to say no. You knew what you were buying when you got into it. I'm so sorry this happened to you, but we can't be held accountable for it. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Before you go, can I have your address? I have to provide you notice of the
I'm
decision.
sorry?
I have to provide you notice of the decision.
Okay.
Can I have your address?
200 East Freedley Street.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else from the public want to testify either in favor or opposition?
Solicitor, just briefly, she did not request party status, but I would object to standing as party status.
Didn't say I was giving her standing, or I was just going to give her notice of what happened.
I understand. I just wanted to put it on the record.
Anybody else want to testify either in favor or opposition? Please speak up now. Seeing no further public comment, we'll close public comment. Any summation or anything else you guys want to tell the board?
No, I believe that we've made the hardship on two bases. Pennsylvania is a property rights state. Every property owner is entitled to use their property. They can't be required to sell it or to use it at a deficit, whether that be financially or less than optimal use that would be allowed. Here you've heard ample testimony about a well-intentioned single-family house, or the well-intentioned purchase of a single-family house, which then the market has decided is too large. And there's ample evidence of that. That constitutes a hardship under the law. Additionally, with the properties being, whether or not we went to each, to the municipality and went for each of those properties, as the applicant, as the public, we are entitled by law to rely upon the reliability of the tax parcel map and that information. And in doing so, we made the assumption that everything listed in there is accurate and up to date and done legally. And with that evidence of the map that has been walked through and shown, there has been a transition, and you in fact just heard it, and there has been a transition throughout these neighborhoods from single-family homes to multiple rentals. And based on that, that is also the basis under Pennsylvania law for a hardship. And so with that, I would conclude, and I don't think I need to go back to a discussion of the least minimum variance standard or the public health, safety, and welfare, which I already addressed, but I believe are both satisfied qualities here too. Thank you for your time.
I appreciate it.
Oh, before we close the hearing, we're going to admit your exhibits, 1 through 9.
I'm sorry?
We're going to admit your exhibits,
Oh, yes, please, thank you.
1 through 9.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Got wrapped up. Yes, I would move all the exhibits into evidence that I handed up already.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The single home that was
Wait,
purchased
hold on.
across the street
No.
from me,
Ma'am, come forward, please, so the board can hear you.
the home that was just recently purchased across the street from me was rented out as a single-family home at approximately 3,000 square feet within weeks. So it can be done. I've witnessed it. I watch my new neighbors.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Certainly, with respect, I mean, we're out of order, so I'm not sure how much you want me going back and forth. But, we heard, I didn't hear the exact address. We heard that she lives at least some distance away. I'm very glad to hear that her neighborhood is better off than this one and is functioning better than this one, and the rental happened that quickly. But that is not the case here, and you've heard testimony of that. So I appreciate the board's time.
Understood.
Thank you.
With that said, is there a motion to close the hearing for this application?
So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Is there a decision on the application?
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to deny application 73-25 for the requested relief.
Is there a second on the motion?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Application's denied.
Thank you.
Just a couple quick announcements before we move into the next application. Application 7-26 has been removed from the agenda, so that application will no longer be heard. Application, and that's property address is 671 George Street. The property, application 4-26, the subject property is 1100 Green Street. That has been continued until the April meeting. And with that said, given time, I just want to toss it out there. Does anybody want a continuance for any other application on the agenda? Or entertain
Come all the way up, please. The application, we have to put it on the record. Go to the microphone. Okay.
1226,
And your name?
John Brodeur. John Brodeur. Brodeur.
Thank you. You're 1733 Willow Street is the property?
Yes,
And you'd like us to continue it to the April 28th meeting, then that's the next regularly scheduled meeting.
yes.
As part of that, you have to waive the requirements of the municipality's planning code. We have time requirements with regard to hearings.
Okay.
So we'll waive those, and we'll continue this for you. Agree?
Thank you. Yes.
And I'll confirm in writing.
I'm sorry?
I'll confirm with you in writing.
Okay, yes.
Thank you.
Is there any other application that you would like the board to entertain a continuance on? All right, we'll keep going. The next application is 9-26. It's a request for a, did I skip one?
3-20.
I'm sorry, 3-26. It's a request for a variance. The applicant is JD Affordable Realty LLC, 1440 Creedley Lane, Collegeville, PA, 19426. The property location is 424 East Marshall Street, Norristown, PA. The applicant and the owner are the same. The applicant is requesting a variance from section 320-292A2A3 to permit the use of an abandoned duplex in the R2 residential district. Good evening.
Good evening. Attorney Leone for JD Affordable Realty, and with me I have the owner.
Good evening.
Say your name.
My name is Juan David Perez Lopez. JUANDAVID PEREZ LOPEZ. Yes.
And if I may just make one correction, I believe that it was just said that the property was vacant. At the time of this application, the property was not vacant. It's been actively used as a duplex. So I just want to make that one correction, and part of the testimony here today will address that. And if there's any questions thereafter, my client or myself will be happy to answer that. The property in question is 424 East Marshall Street. The date of the request is December 23rd of 2025, and my client and the owner of the property purchased the property as a duplex. The tax records of Norristown have listed it as a duplex since at least 2021. And the reason for the denial is apparently due to abandonment for lack of reapplying for a rental license for that duplex. However, evidence on both the MLS and actual use of the property shows that the property has been actively used as a duplex with and without a rental. So in 2021 with a rental, thereafter it's been actively used without a license from previous owners, without a license. My client, in purchasing the property, purchased it as a duplex. In a moment here, and let me ask the board received 9 copies of a packet of 70 pages? 70 pages, correct.
70?
70.
We did not.
Okay. So I have a feeling that next month you're probably gonna get that packet. I don't know if it got pushed somehow, but there was a bit of an issue with scheduling
We
today.
did get information, but it consists of 27 pages.
Yep.
You're welcome to look through what we have.
May I just see
before
what you have? I just
continue.
wanna make sure what-
Back on the record, please.
Thank you. So within the packet that the board does have in front of it, it does have the MLS listing specifically from a website called Redfin, where it does list the property as a duplex. Rented as a duplex. Oh, Redfin, I apologize. Yeah. REDFIN. Now, also on public record, and I'm hoping the board does have this sheet, but it's a sale and tax history for 424 East Marshall Street. On this document, it has the most recent sales, as well as the description of the property at that time. It shows November 24 of 2025 as the most recent sale. That is the time that my client purchased that property. Prior to that, the property was sold in 2022, and once before that, in 2021. At the time of the 2021 sale, the listing description was, and I quote, "Attention investors, duplex, 3-bedroom, 1-bath unit, and 2-bedroom and 1-bath unit, separately metered, lease ends 3/31/2022. Now, that is, end quote, I apologize. There's a few more sentences, but I point that out for the board specifically due to the fact that according to the denial letter, there hasn't been an active license at that property since 2021. Now, as the board is aware, in order for a non-conforming use to be abandoned, there has to be a 365-day lapse in the rental license, as well as the property being abandoned. Now, according to the documents that we have and also conversations with the real estate agent of the previous owner, and then my client's real estate agent, that property has been actively used. Now, I want to point the board's attention to the most recent description when my client bought the property. Specifically, and I quote, "Attention investors, 2-unit building coming soon with tenants in place. New electric separately metered," end quote, et cetera, et cetera. Point being that the property was actively occupied, not abandoned, as a leased unit and a duplex. Now, there will be no structural changes to convert this property. It is already put together as a duplex. It is metered as a duplex. It is, all utilities are placed as duplexes. There are separate entrances, separate parking, and as I've stated earlier, it's been used as a duplex as far as 2021 from what we can find. Our request is simply to keep it as a duplex. We're not looking to expand the nonconformity. So realistically, what we're asking the board is one of two things: to either allow us to reinstate the license, or to have us go back to square one and grant us a variance to make what has been historically used as a duplex for as far back as we can find, and not only publicly posted records being MLS listings, Zillow, Redfin, but also on public records. On the Montgomery County tax records, and I understand that we just had a long discussion about potential accuracies of that, it has been listed as a duplex according to Norristown records, or I'm sorry, county records. I want to make that correction. So with that being said, at this time, I'd like to open up to questions to my client, if you have any specific questions. But just in closing from my part, all we are seeking to do is reinstate the property as a duplex. That's what it was purchased as. That was our understanding of what it was rented out as at the time. We had evidence that it was rented out. And again, we're just seeking to continue that.
Got it. Any questions for the applicant?
As this applicant has been in front of us before, this is not the first
Correct.
So when you purchase this property, you actually knew the procedures to follow to ascertain as to what the status of this particular building was before you purchased it, correct?
I was looking for specifically for duplex.
That wasn't my question. I already asked you what you were looking for. When you went to purchase this building, because you have purchased other buildings in Norristown, you know the procedures that you need to follow to ascertain what this building, whatever building you purchase is listed as, whether it's a single-family home for the municipality or it's listed. So you do know the steps to follow to know, so you know for sure before you purchase, before you put your money down, what a building is structured and what it is zoned for.
Yes.
So, did you not do it with this one, or you just, what happened in this situation?
Well, the only situation here is the license, because like my lawyer says, everything was listed as a duplex. I went to look at the house. I noticed it was 2 meters, 2 private entrance, 2 kitchens. So
So you're still not answering my question, maybe you can help me answer my question.
Sure.
Since he has other properties in Norristown, like this isn't the first time he's been in front of us, he knows what it requires to do due diligence to ensure that the property that you are purchased is listed as the municipality records, exactly what it may look like, because we already know people can legally convert things.
Correct.
So what is it, did he not do his due diligence this time in purchasing this? What happened that he didn't know this property was a single family?
So, Madam Vice Chairwoman, if I may, I'll answer the question, and if it's okay with you, I'd like to actually ask my client a series of questions to get you your answer, because I do understand the confusion here. So to answer your question directly, I believe he did do the due diligence and the research, and in all publicly available, both private listings, meaning the Zillows and the Redfins, and also municipality listings, meaning the tax records or the county records, it was listed as a duplex. Also, when he did call the township, there had been a active license for a duplex, and the assumption was that if a license was approved, then it was legally a duplex. Otherwise, the license could have never been approved. So,
You're losing me because
Sure.
it looks like he says that there was no license that's taken since 2021. So you're saying he contacted the municipality to do what? Because he couldn't have clarified what the building was before he purchased it.
It would have been to renew the license. It would have been to renew the license for a duplex. So
You do that after, before you purchase. My question is, did he do his due diligence to find out through the municipality what this property was, what the status of this property was? And I guess your answer was no, because you didn't, you're saying to renew licenses.
Can I answer that?
Before you purchase and find out what the status of the property is first.
Well, I think my client would have been seeking to renew the license, and he would have wanted to make the property legal. And on the actual listing itself, which I did see that the board does have in front of it, it specifies that the buyer will be responsible for renewing the license. So you're absolutely correct. Sure. Well, even in the denial letter itself, it said that the license hadn't been renewed since 2021.
Correct. So this isn't the first, I'll go back to.
Sure.
Those other properties in Norristown.
Sure, of course.
Which means he knows the steps that need to be taken to purchase a property in Norristown. And since you have converted properties, you know what it requires to convert a property. So you know how it is, you know the steps you need to take to see what the status of a property is, right? To do your due diligence.
Yes, after we make the deal with the customer, with the seller, we requested the license, and they said we didn't have it, we didn't pay for it. So my guess was just, we had to come here and renew the license. That was the following step, but I didn't know that until we make the deal with the customer, with the seller.
So, and just to clarify, Madam Vice Chairwoman, I think to your point, and I know we've been in front of you before and we've had conversation as far as conversions. My client, and to his credit, he's decided maybe converting is not the best deal. So he sought specifically properties that were duplexes, not only listed, but also licensed as duplexes. His assumption, and maybe incorrectly so, was that it was just needing to be renewed. Now, I understand from a legality standpoint that there are certain instances where a license cannot be renewed as a result of abandonment. What we are trying to put forward to the board is the property was never abandoned. Now, we understand that previous owners, with no fault to my client, he called the board right away and he called Norristown right away and tried to make it right. He tried to renew that license for a property that we know was a duplex. It was used as a duplex. There was active tenants in the duplex. He was trying to do his due diligence and make it right. Now, not taking away from his investment savvy, but he's not a lawyer. He doesn't understand, if so long goes by without people living there, or if previous owners, didn't list it for a certain amount of time, that it could lose its legal status as a duplex. Now, I would present to the board that it never did lose that status because it was never abandoned. Now, we can sit here and concede that they failed to renew the license, the previous owners did. However, it was actively and with no break rented to tenants. To our best understanding, it was always fully occupied. However, even if it were partially occupied for certain periods of time, we believe that the abandonment wouldn't have resulted in this instance, and that's our position.
I don't think you answered my question, but I like your attempt at trying,
I apologize.
so thank you.
And I want to come back to it, please, if I'm happy to
No,
come
no,
back to it.
no, you attempted to give me an answer, but that wasn't my question, but that's okay.
I think, if I may, I think he tried to do due diligence. He made a good faith effort to renew the license in order to verify that he was allowed to rent it as a duplex. His miss, and innocently so, was that he didn't know the difference of when a property can lose status. And I think that, again, to his credit and our time in front of this board prior, is he tries not to make the same mistake more than once. And the mistake made before was, when there's no legitimate hardship, properties can't be changed. However, when a property already exists as a certain use, and his interest is just continuing that use, that's kind of what he's evolved or grown into. Like, hey, I'm not going to try to change the fabric of the neighborhood. There's a lot of resistance there. We're just going to try to fix what's here. And that was our attempt. So I hope that got closer.
Mm-hmm.
It might be helpful if you describe the property, how it exists, the physical conditions.
Sure. In the packet that you have, there are multiple photos of the property. With your indulgence for a moment. So, the initial photo is the front of the property. It's right on the front door. You see 424 with a parking lot to the left of the property. It is the following photo is a side shot showing the parking lot to the left side as well as the front of the property and the side of the property.
Just before you continue, the front of the building, how many mailboxes are there?
2. And it's listed as apartment 1 and apartment 2 on those mailboxes.
Thank you. And then the next picture you're about to refer to, the side of the building?
It is the side of the building, and it has 2 meters as well as 2 trash cans, 2 recycling bins. The following photo is the rear of the building, and that was just to show the amount of land available. And skipping past photo 15, which is just another shot from down the street, just showing the availability of parking on the road as well as street parking. This property also actually has 4 off-street parking. 4, correct? I just want to make sure, 4. And then we get to the pictures of the actual units. If we skip to the photographs, it has 4 photographs on one single page listed as Unit 1 and Unit 2. It specifically shows kitchens and bathrooms. I apologize, there's actually 6 pictures on that sheet.
So kitchen and bathroom, 1 for each unit.
Correct.
And then again, 2 meters at the bottom of that page are depicted.
That's correct.
And along with the adjacent picture, the trash cans you had referred to.
That is correct, thank you. The following page shows 2 electric meters, again, separating the 2 units, 1 for each unit. The following
The
photo is-
electric, the circuit box.
Circuit box, correct, sir. The following photo is a photo of the separate entrances for both apartment 1 and apartment 2 of 424 East Marshall. And the final photo on page 17 is a outside shot showing the additional entrance for specifically Unit 1.
Do these photos show the state of the units today, or were these from the real estate listing?
Did you understand the question?
No, I did not.
Can you please repeat
that?
Sure. Do these photos, particularly the ones on page 16 that show the kitchens and the bathrooms, are they the current state of the units?
Yes, there is.
Are you planning to do, I understand there's testimony that they're configured this way, that they're occupied. Are you planning any improvements?
Yes, painting floor requires.
Sorry?
Painting, floor, cabinets are missing, so we had to improve it.
Yeah, 'cause looking at the pictures, like the door, you can see outside light through all 4 sides of the door when it's closed. It just looks like some of these pictures, the interior and the exterior, are in pretty rough condition. Just want to understand that you're
The
going
first unit, the kitchen is, I'm sorry.
One second. Board Member Devon, if I may just ask my client a question. Is your plan to renovate the properties?
Yes,
Yes. So you're going to change the condition of essentially what I would describe as a bit dilapidated and update to
Yes.
make them more livable?
exactly.
And do you have plans to do that already?
Yes.
And if I may just direct the board to, I believe it's the final 2 pages, there's actually a quote for upgrading the properties.
Will the residents be displaced during those improvements?
So at this time, for the purposes of improvements, the residence lease ended in November of 2025, correct?
Yes.
When he purchased the property, so that he can renovate, and then he would be looking for new tenants at that point.
Okay, thank you.
The property completely vacant right now?
As of November 2025, yes.
Any other questions for the board? Or for the applicant, sorry. All right, seeing none, we'll go to the municipality.
Subject property is located in the R2 residential district, proposing to operate as a duplex once again. A valid rental license has not been obtained since 2021, but we do have a valid rental license on file since as early as 2014. 2014.
All right, with that said, is there anybody from the public wants to testify either in favor or opposition of the application? Please speak up now. Seeing none, we'll close public comment. Any summation or anything else you want to tell the board?
Just in summation, again, I just want to express to the board, our goal is not to enlarge or change the nature of the property. It has been a duplex. I understand some of the sentiments as far as the changing of the neighborhood, but our belief is that it would actually be more of a hardship to convert it from a duplex back into a single because it's been operated as a duplex for as long as it has been. So our request is simply to keep things status quo and to allow my client to essentially legalize a property that's been used illegally since 2021. We just want to make things right and do our due diligence so that we're on even footing moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. With that said, is there a motion to close the hearing for application 326?
I have a quick question first. So the applicant did enclose an estimate of some improvements to the property. Would the applicant be amenable if we put a condition on the approval that those improvements must take place?
Absolutely. I can answer that. I let him answer. Are you okay with, you can't rent it out until you make those improvements. Is that okay?
Yes, that's the plan.
Thank you.
How about the pass-through rental license fee?
I figured, I mean, I was gonna add that, yeah. I'll make a motion to close the hearing then.
Motion to close, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? And does somebody want to make a motion on a decision?
I can make the motion to approve case 3-26 for the requested variance with two conditions that the back rental licenses are paid to date to the municipality and that the improvements to the property outlined in the application all take place.
Somebody want to second the motion?
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Application is approved with conditions.
Thank you and good evening.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Any requests for variances before we begin? Most likely, this is going to be the last one.
Can you just verify when is the next, continuance? My landlord, he was here, but he requested for a continuance.
April 28th is the next meeting.
At 7,
Yes.
thank you. Najaya, N-A-J-A, Allen, A-L-L. Tenant at 1733 Willow.
All right, we'll continue then. Next application is 9-26. It's a request for a variance, a special exception. The applicant is Andrew R. Stroll, Esquire, Fox Rothschild LLP, 2800 Kelly Road, Suite 200, Warrington, PA. Property location is 510 East Basin Street, Norristown, PA. Property owners Harp Khan LLC, 775 Penland Bluebell Pike, Bluebell, PA. 19422. The applicant is requesting a variance from section 23, section 320-262 to permit the use of a front-facing parking garage in the R2 residential district and relief from 320-248 front porches to permit the use of a 6x10 front porch in the R2 residential district.
So Chairman, we're going to amend the application to reflect that the applicant is actually HarpCon LLC, Harpconn.
That's correct. And if I may begin, good evening. Andrew Stoll on behalf of the applicant. Thank you for noting that the application was amended just when we saw the agenda to make sure that the applicant was listed as the property owner. Given the time crunch, I think I would respectfully suggest a offer of proof to walk through, I think what's a more... Yeah, I think given the time crunch, an offer of proof...
Hey, guys, can we keep it down? Thank you.
An offer of proof might be the most efficient way to walk through what is otherwise a pretty innocuous application, especially in light of the ones that were previously presented.
I agree.
Thank you.
As long
So-
as witnesses are here for any question,
Yeah, and the applicant,
I'm sorry, before you start, because I can barely hear you. All right, let's do it.
yeah, the applicant's engineer and the applicant are both here. Unlike all the applications you've heard tonight, this is not for a use variance, this is for a dimensional variance. It's unlike the standard that you've had to overcome, unlike the challenges, unlike the characteristics, unlike all the meat on the bone, so to speak, that you've heard through the application previously. The properties that are the subject of the application tonight are located at Violet and Basin Street. Right at the corner of those two, at that intersection, the applicant had previously developed a number of row houses on that property. The properties that are the subject of this application are adjacent to that recent development, which was approved and it recently completed. What the applicant is proposing to do through this application is to combine the previously constructed row houses with additional units on the adjacent properties which the applicant had recently purchased. What's ultimately going to happen, what's proposed, is that 6 additional units are proposed, 4 row houses and a 2-unit twin. I'm sorry, 7, I'm sorry. And what it ultimately will be done is will be combined as one large parcel. So it's going to be what's referred to typically as an unlotted development with footprint ownership, meaning it's essentially one large community. Reason being there's more control, there's more continuity, and the benefit to the community is that there's an HOA that oversees any and all activity at the property, any and all changes at the property. There's control for the owner, there's control for the community, there's regulation and a benefit to the community. The variances that bring us before you here tonight, the first is for a front yard parking variance, which I'll identify on a plan, but the 2 of the units that are in the twins, we are technically in a front yard on Elm Street. We need a variance from that section of 262A1 of the zoning ordinance to park in the front yard. You'll note that was previously advertised as a special exception, reason being that section of your ordinance, specifically 262A4, allows for parking in the front yard if you meet 7 different criteria. We meet 6 of the 7 criteria. In preparing for tonight's hearing, we saw that there was just 1 that we were missing, 6 of the 7, so we fall back into the variance category. So that is the first level of relief, and obviously more innocuous given the fact that we basically are just right above the threshold for special exception. The second variance that brings us before you is for porch length. Units 6 through 12 on a plan I'll go through in a moment have porches that are slightly off on the requirements for your zoning ordinance. Section 248A2 of your ordinance has a 2-pronged requirement for porches. The first is that the porch must be 6 feet in width or 6 feet deep. We satisfy that aspect of the requirement. The ordinance also requires, though, that in addition to being 6 feet deep, the porch must extend 70% of the facade. We're slightly off on that in that we're 45. However, the recent development on Thomas Circle, just about 3 blocks from the location of these properties, was recently granted a variance to have no porches at all. So again, it's a dimensional variance, rather innocuous in nature. I've handed up a green binder, and if I can go through some of those exhibits to add some color to the application. The first exhibit is A1, which are deeds to the subject properties. Exhibit A2 is a letter from my office and from myself dated March 12th, requesting that the application be clarified or otherwise amended so that the property owner and not myself individually is the applicant. Exhibit A3 is again a letter from me in my office dated March 24th, 2026, requesting an amendment to the application stating specifically that we don't need the special exception for parking in the front yard, but instead need the variance. Exhibit A4 is the CV of Chad Bressinger, the applicant's engineer who is with me tonight. Exhibit A5 are aerial and tax map photographs. If you look at the first page of Exhibit A5, what we've done is we've taken a tax map from the county's website and we've colored in gray and outlined in red, all of the properties that are subject to this development. So that would all be combined as, like I had said, a unlotted development with footprint ownership. Included in Exhibit A5 is also an aerial. That aerial shows you that almost the entirety of the location and the area and the proximity of these properties are attached dwellings. So what is being proposed, while permitted by right, it's consistent with the surrounding neighborhood. Exhibit A6 are photographs of the existing property. As you page through those photographs, you'll see the first one being another aerial. The second one being to the left is a home which has recently been demolished and which will be the location of the new units I just described. And to the right, on the second photograph, you will see those newly constructed units. That's what's been previously approved by Norristown and recently been completed. The same thing shows with the following, the additional photographs in Exhibit A5. Exhibit A6, Exhibit A7 is an important exhibit in that this applicant has been through the development and approval process in your municipality before. It went through it when we had done the row houses on Violet Street, and he had gone through it with respect to this application. We had different staff meetings to discuss this application. We went through the zoning review process. Exhibit A7 is a letter from Pannoni dated December 19th, 2025, which is one of the about 2 or 3 zoning review letters for this application confirming that the use is permitted, subject to the variances or the zoning relief that we're here for tonight. Exhibit A8, that's the sketch plan that is the subject of this application. If I can further identify and put into context what I've said before about these properties, you'll see to the to the west, along Violet Street, there are 5 units. That's what's been previously approved. It's been recently constructed. That is the only part of this application to the extent that it's proposed to be combined with the additional units. What's the shaded units in gray, units 6 through 12, that is what are proposed to be constructed by and through this application. The uses are permitted as per the Pannoni letter. There is no front yard for units 6 through 10, as it's going to be one lot. So because you make it a unlotted development, your front yards will arguably be Basin Street, Violet Street, and Elm Street. So the parking in the front yard you'll see is to the south on units 11 through 12. And the reason that there's parking in the front yard is because there's porches and a proposed garage. So they are slightly into the front yard. In terms of the special exception for the porches, that is for all of the units, units that were proposed, units 6 through 12. Again, slightly just off, and if you go to Exhibit 11, to go slightly out of order, that's a rendering of the proposed development, or what's proposed as part of this application. You'll see that the configuration of the driveways, it proposes to have a porch that doesn't go the extension of the units. It allows for additional driveway area, but the way your ordinance reads is that we can't have them stacked too far, so the way that we have this now brings us into the special exception category. Exhibit A9, that's a review letter from the 820 Thomas Street development that's 3 blocks away. If you look at paragraph 3 on zoning variances received on page 1 of that exhibit, you will see that this board had given at that time and for that development 3 blocks away a variance to not have the front porches at all. We're not proposing to have no front porches. We're just requesting that one of the 2 prongs not be imposed upon us so that we can have smaller front porches. Exhibit A10 are conceptually what these units are going to look like, especially in conjunction with the renderings. These are pictures of the previous development on Basin and Violet Street that was previously approved. On Exhibit A11, as I mentioned before, these are the renderings showing what is proposed as part of this application and what the units would look like. Again, it gives additional context to when I talked about the requirement for your front porch. It doesn't wrap the width of the home or of the facade. It doesn't go 75%. It only goes 45, gives a little additional room for the cars, hence the need for the variance. There's multiple hardships here. Obviously, the standard and the burden is much, much lower for this application as opposed to all those you've heard tonight. We are here for dimensional variances. We're asking for a reasonable adjustment. You have a configuration of, you have properties that are configured, the smaller type of properties. And I always tell people it's not the biggest developments, it's the smaller properties that carry the most problems. So this went through multiple iterations of plans. It went through a lot of planning, both internally and through staff meetings with Norristown to come up with this unlotted development. The upshot of it and the yield of it was these two more innocuous variances. A similar variance was granted just 3 blocks away. There is a paper street to the east of our property, which further complicates any development and use of that area. With respect to any other questions, I would just direct those to our applicant, our engineer, but I would emphasize again that this type of particular development carries additional benefit to the community and specifically intended to be so that this HOA can have additional control and that there's more longevity into it. This is not someone who's coming in to make a quick buck and get out of your municipality. With that, I'm happy to, if we can swear in Art Hurling, the applicant's representative, and Chad Brentsinger, the applicant's engineer. Mr. Brentsinger's CV was included in my packet, and I would offer Mr. Bressinger as a expert in the field of civil engineering, and thank you for indulging me for flying through this. It's been a long night for you guys, so I'm trying to cut to the chase as much as I can.
If you,
Chad Brentsinger, B-R-E-N-S-I-N-G-E-R.
Arthur, A-R-T-H-U-R, Hurling, H-E-R-L-I-N-G. You both sound swear from testimony about the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
If I could just ask Mr. Brentsinger, you were here for all the testimony or all the statements that I provided or to the board. If you were to testify here in full, would you adopt what I've stated as your testimony?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else you would add to what I've mentioned about the project?
No, I think you summed up all the ramifications of the property and where we've been through the process, and we have a pretty clean proposal.
And short of the front porches and the parking and the front yard of the 2 units, 2 of the 12 units, everything else is by right, is that correct?
Yes.
And Mr. Hurling, I would ask you the same questions. And if I can just go both of them, maybe the board, you guys can hit both of them, if that's
Please.
okay. Mr. Hurling, you were here for my description of the application to the board here, correct? Okay. And if you were to testify here in full, would you agree to adopt my statements as your testimony to the extent that you were to testify here in full tonight?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else that you would add to what has been
Happy
said?
to answer any questions. We recently finished the other project, and it went pretty well, pretty smooth. Enjoyed working here and looking forward to doing it again.
Just so I can orient myself, I'm looking at Exhibit 11, A11, and the rendering looks like the ones, I guess that would be the west. Those are the ones that are already completed, the 5 units that are already completed?
That's correct.
Okay, and then the ones that are proposed are the ones sort of behind it?
Correct.
To the east. I see the front facing driveways and porches. The current ones, is that parking in the back?
Yeah, there's two-car wide driveway in the rear, and they also have a garage. They have 3 parking spaces. At least 2, you can probably fill the garage with stuff, but there's technically 3 spots. Yes, sir.
And they're completed. Are they occupied yet?
They're occupied, yes.
Thank you.
Quick question, where is the trash receptacle gonna go for the units?
So the current 5 residents have, you guys have 2 cans in the barrel here. So there's we notch out a spot inside
So the ones facing Violet, they put the trash out front.
They, the ones facing Violet, they park in the rear, they bring their trash cans down the driveway. They'll place their trash, actually, the trash company backs up the driveway. So they actually just kind of put it in the driveway on trash day, and the truck backs up in the driveway, picks it up, and they put their cans back in the garage.
So I guess the trash for 6 through 10 is also gonna be in the driveway.
With the garages, yeah, there'll be another knockout for a couple cans there, it'll be the same setup.
And, these are for purchase, not rent, or
The current units are leased.
leased? Okay. And the proposed ones are also gonna be leased?
Yeah, so in order to do the, what I call the second phase of the project, we had to lease the first phase because we needed, it's one big development, and, if you sell 5 lots, we wouldn't be able to, move to phase 2. I'm not sure what our intent is, we could sell them, we could lease them, see what the market is at the time.
Can you explain maybe the reasoning why the proposed units are facing the back of the existing units? So if you're on your porch, you're looking out your living room window, you're looking at the back of the houses that are right in front of you?
Yeah, so behind the proposed, there are back doors, nice backyard there, so we have a small kind of porch in the rear as well, so that'll be off the kitchen, so theoretically, most people are on the second floor, which is your living room, dining room, and kitchen. Most of the probably outdoor time will be spent behind the building there. But yes, they could sit on their first floor porches and look at the neighbors' houses.
If you were building these all at the same time instead of 2 phases, would you have them face each other, or would you still go on with this configuration?
Well, at the time, we didn't know we were gonna be doing a second phase. We started building, the neighbor called me, asked if I wanted to buy his property, and we worked it out, so, if I could redo it again, maybe, but it was important to have that driveway share. And the first phase, we wanted to look out to the nice park there, and the dog park, so we had those nice porches there. So I don't think I have those buildings face the other way.
And units, proposed units 11 and 12, they front Elm Street?
Correct.
And so will they have driveways on Elm Street? They'll have no connection to the shared driveway?
They have their own parking. Correct.
Any other questions from the board? Seeing none, we'll go to the Mrs. Copley.
The subject property is located in the R2 residential district, previously operating as a single-family home, proposing to construct 7 front-facing porches and garages.
If there's no other questions, if I can just procedurally just move for the admission of my exhibits into evidence, Mr. Saraceni.
They're admitted.
Thank you.
Anybody from the public want to testify either in favor or opposition of the application? You speak up now. Seeing no public comment, we will close public comment. Any summation or anything else from the public board?
No, just thank you for your time and indulgence and for allowing me to speak as quickly as I could. Sorry to the stenographer for taking it all down.
That said, is there a motion to close the application? Hearing for the application? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Is there a decision on the application?
I'll make a motion to approve the application for the requested relief.
Is there a second on the motion?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Application is approved.
Thank you all. Get home safe.
So we're gonna, everything else. All right, who do we have? Anybody here for any further applications? Just wanna note for the record.
Yes, Edmund Shin here for 1126. Edmund Shin, Shinn.
Any other applicants?
Spartan for 1326.
Say that again, I couldn't hear you.
Spartan for 1326.
What's your name?
Eric Romanowski.
Spell
ROMANOWSKI.
Should he have a card?
I do.
Okay.
And I'm faster than Mr. Stahl.
Find that hard to believe. You're doing pretty fast.
Anybody else? Anything else, Rob?
1326. Vikas, V-I-K-A-S. Sharma, S-H-A-R-M-A.
So you, Mr. Sharma, you're here for two applications?
It's the, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 1326 and 1426.
I'm sorry, mine was 15, I said 13, I thought.
Okay, I had you. Anyone else?
All right. That said, is there a motion to close the hearing, the meeting for this evening? Sorry.
Move it to next month.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned.